Have you ever wondered how words can evoke emotions, paint pictures, and even change perspectives? The power of words is an extraordinary thing. They have the ability to touch our hearts, to provoke thought, and to incite change. They can make us laugh, they can make us cry, and they can make us see the world in a whole new light. Consider the works of renowned poets like Robert Frost and Emily Dickinson. Their words have left an indelible mark on society, influencing generations of readers and writers alike. Through their poetry, they've beautifully captured the human experience, the beauty of nature, the depths of sorrow, and the heights of joy. Their words have not only entertained us but have also challenged us to think, to feel, and to understand the world around us in a more profound way. Just like an artist with a brush, poets use words to create their masterpiece. So, how do we learn to harness this power? The answer lies in our education system. Picture the very first time you encountered poetry in school. For many, it happens during those formative years of language arts or English classes. Teachers introduce students to this unique form of expression, a world where words dance and play, creating a symphony of emotions and thoughts. The classroom becomes a stage, the blackboard a canvas, and the pen a wand, casting spells of rhyme, meter, and imagery. Rhyme, the harmonious echo of similar-sounding words, is often the first element of poetry introduced to students. They learn to appreciate the musicality of words, the way they can chime and chime again, creating a rhythm that resonates in the heart. Next comes meter, the rhythmic structure of the poem. Students learn to tap their fingers or feet to the beat of the words, discovering the inherent music of language. They learn to discern patterns, to appreciate the ebb and flow of syllables, the rise and fall of stress patterns. Then there's imagery, the vivid and vibrant pictures painted by words. Students are taught to see beyond the literal, to delve into the metaphorical, to explore the abstract. They learn to see the world through the poet's eyes, to feel the emotions captured in the stanzas, to experience the situations depicted in the verses. Students are not just taught to read poems but to analyze and interpret them. They are encouraged to question, to ponder, to debate. What does the poem mean? What is the poet trying to convey? How does it make them feel? These questions lead students on a journey of discovery, unveiling the layers of meaning hidden within the lines of the poem. In essence, schools provide the foundation for understanding and appreciating poetry. They create a space where the magic of words can be explored and celebrated, where students can learn to wield the power of poetry, to craft their own spells of emotion and thought, to become architects of language and builders of bridges between hearts and minds. But how exactly do teachers transform these abstract concepts into understandable lessons for students? Well, let's dive right in. The process often begins with direct instruction. This is where teachers lay the groundwork, introducing students to the fundamentals of poetry. They explain what a poem is, explore different poetic forms, and discuss elements like rhyme, rhythm, and metaphors. Teachers may use a variety of resources during this stage, including textbooks, online materials, and of course, poetry books. These resources provide students with a broad spectrum of examples, showcasing the diversity and richness of poetry. Once the foundations are set, we move to the next phase, guided practice. Here, teachers and students explore poems together. They dissect the lines, analyze the themes, and unravel the metaphors. They might discuss the poet's choice of words, the imagery used, or the emotions evoked. This interactive phase allows students to deepen their understanding of poetry, developing their analytical skills while fostering an appreciation for the art form. And then comes the most exciting part, independent practice. This is where students get the chance to create their own poems. Using the knowledge they've gained, they begin to experiment with words, crafting lines that resonate with their own experiences and emotions. Teachers encourage this creative process, providing constructive feedback and fostering a supportive environment where students feel free to express themselves. It's not just about memorizing definitions or dissecting poems, it's about sparking curiosity, nurturing creativity, and cultivating a love for poetry. It's about showing students that they too can be poets, that they too can use words to express their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And that's the beauty of the teaching process. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but a dynamic, engaging journey tailored to each student's needs and interests. Teachers are not just educators, but guides, helping students navigate the vast and beautiful landscape of poetry. Through these methods, teachers guide students in their journey through the world of poetry. From conception to creation, every poem has a unique journey. As a seed must first be planted to grow into a tree, so too must an idea be sown to blossom into a poem. It often begins as a whisper, a fleeting thought, or a sudden inspiration. It could be a feeling, an image, or a phrase that lingers in the mind. This is the birth of a poem, the initial idea from which everything else emerges. Then, like a sculptor turning a block of stone into a masterpiece, the poet begins to shape this initial idea. The first draft of a poem is like a rough sketch, an outline of the final work. It's where the poet begins to explore the poem's theme, to play with words and rhythms, and to experiment with different poetic devices. But writing a poem isn't a one-and-done endeavor. It's a process that often involves multiple drafts. Revisions are crucial in the crafting of a poem. It's in this stage that the poet hones in on the poem's heart, polishing and refining the words until they shine with just the right light. It's akin to chipping away at a diamond in the rough, revealing the gem that lies beneath. Yet no poem is complete without an audience, without someone to hear its music and feel its resonance. That's why students are encouraged to share their poems in class. This sharing is not just about receiving feedback, although that is important. It's about connecting with others, about expressing oneself and being heard. In sharing their poems, students learn to appreciate the power of words and the beauty of expression. And this is where the true magic of poetry lies. It's not just in the crafting, but also in the sharing. It's in the way words strung together can touch hearts and change perspectives. It's in the way a poem, born from an idea and nurtured into existence, can create a bridge between souls. Just as every journey is different, so is every poem. So, what happens when students learn to appreciate and create poetry? An intriguing question indeed. Poetry education has a profound impact on young minds, shaping their linguistic abilities, creativity, emotional understanding, and perspectives on societal issues. Let's start with language skills. Poetry is a linguistic playground, a place where words twist, turn, and reveal themselves in new ways. When students delve into this playground, they learn to appreciate the nuances of language. They become adept at playing with words, and their vocabulary and comprehension skills are enhanced. They learn to communicate complex ideas in simple, beautiful ways, and this ability can serve them in all areas of life, not just in literature. Moving on, let's talk about creativity. Poetry, with its vivid imagery and unique expressions, encourages students to think outside the box. They learn to see the world in metaphors, in similes, in alliterations. They learn to draw connections between seemingly unrelated things, to see beauty and meaning in the mundane. This creativity is not confined to their poetry. It spills over into their thinking, their problem-solving, their everyday life. Next, we have emotional understanding. Poetry is the language of emotions. It helps students express and understand their feelings in a healthy and constructive manner. It also fosters empathy, helping students to understand and appreciate the emotions of others. This emotional literacy is vital for their personal growth and for their interactions with others. Lastly, poetry education can influence a student's perspective and worldview. Poetry often tackles social issues, providing students with a platform to express their thoughts and opinions. It broadens their horizons, exposes them to diverse perspectives, and encourages critical thinking. It empowers them to voice their opinions and to engage in meaningful discussions about the world around them. The power of poetry, therefore, is not just in the words, but in the minds and hearts of those who understand it. Poetry education is more than just teaching students to write verses. It's about nurturing creative minds, fostering emotional literacy, and shaping informed, empathetic individuals. Words are the brush, emotions are the colors, and the mind is the canvas. As we draw this journey to a close, let's reflect back on the powerful role that poetry plays in education. Poetry, like a magic spell, transforms simple words into a symphony of emotions, ideas, and experiences. It transcends the barriers of language, culture, and age, creating a universal platform of expression and understanding. In schools, poetry becomes more than just rhyming phrases and verses. It is a tool that enhances creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. The journey of a poem, from its inception to its final form, is a testament to the potential within each student. The teaching process, when done right, can truly ignite a passion for poetry in young minds. The impact of poetry education is far-reaching. It's a ripple effect, starting from an individual and touching countless lives. And so the alchemy of words continues, transforming thoughts and feelings into poetry, one student at a time.